Well, folks, it seems that Uncle Joe Biden is feeling the heat from uh, the anti-funding Israel forever protesters or rioters across America and Canada on college campuses. They've been calling Joe Biden a baby killer and making all sorts of demands to their universities. And most notably, they are vowing not to support Joe Biden in the upcoming November election. As I've discussed, the situation in Gaza is a lose-lose for Joe Biden. Either he is too kind to the Palestinians and too harsh on Israel, therefore pissing off the Zionists and his party, or he goes too far in favoring the Zionists and pisses off people like these college students who are sympathetic to the Palestinian cause. And so it's in Joe Biden's best interest for this to just not be in the news, for this not to be talked about, because the more that this war is discussed, the more people in the Democratic Party become divided amongst themselves, and as I discussed, very bad for Joe. So what's his idea? He has to come up with something. This has to stop. And as of yet, it has shown no signs of stopping. So the Biden administration is running a trial balloon now. It's something that they talked about before, and it got shot down because it was universally opposed and reviled. And so the trial balloon popped, it went away, and we haven't heard about it for a while. Now they're floating this trial balloon again about resettling refugees from Gaza in the United States. So it seems that Joe thinks that he can compromise his way out of this predicament. That we can have guns and butter in the form of humanitarian aid. And so he's going to continue to provide bombs to Israel so that Israel can keep bombing Gaza. But in order to placate, he thinks, the anti-Israel protesters on college campuses, he's going to physically remove the people of Gaza. He's going to kidnap them, deport them from their own country, and send them to red states in America where they will cause problems for people who are not Biden voters, namely in states like Tennessee or Arkansas or Florida. That way, if Biden can just successfully depopulate Gaza, well, then Israel won't have anyone left to bomb. They can just drop all the bombs they want, and they won't kill anyone because all the people will be gone, and Israel will be free to colonize Gaza as they see fit. Now, as if this situation for Biden couldn't get any worse, let's be clear, his handlers have found an even worse way to dig themselves into a deeper hole. Because this, again, is a solution that will make nobody happy. If you think that ethnically cleansing Gaza of Arabs is going to appease the anti-Israel protest movement, I don't know what to tell you. I get that these folks are not coherent at, expressing their thoughts. They are, as a result of being put through the American university system, they are, let's say, mentally regressed compared to the average American citizen. But I don't think that it takes a psychologist or any other sort of crackpot shrink to decode that what these people don't want is the ethnic cleansing of Gaza. That seems to be the exact thing that they are protesting against. And by responding to their violent insurrection across this country, by saying, here, I'm your friend, vote for Joe Biden. I will help Israel ethnically cleanse Gaza. That way, we all get what we want. That's not going to work. I get that Biden's administration, likes to punish red states. But even if you don't give a damn about the people in the red states and you want to inflict the very much disgruntled Palestinian population on them, because let's be clear, if you forcibly remove people from Gaza, you ethnically cleanse them, you kick them out of their homes, and then you put them on boats or airplanes and ship them off to the hills of Tennessee, they're going to take out their angst on the local population. That is human nature. I mean, these people, in their eyes, have had their lives destroyed by America and Israel, which are one and the same. And then here they are, stuck in the middle of nowhere in America, surrounded by Americans who they likely, or not likely, certainly would view as their enemies, as their great oppressors. There will be a terrorist organization that sprouts up in America out of these refugees. It is, it's not because Palestinians are particularly evil or bad people. This is natural. This is what you will do if you destroy a country, and then you take that defeated, that conquered people, and you resettle them in the middle of your own country. They're not going to assimilate into your population. They're going to do the opposite. They're going to do everything they can to subvert your population and to damage it in any way possible so that you might know even 1/100th of their pain. It's called vengeance. And it's something that Americans felt in the wake of 9/11. Yet it is impossible for anyone in the American government and frankly most of the American population to understand that other people who aren't American also feel that way when they are wronged. The only people who this idea will appeal to are the same upper middle class shitlibs who are already voting for Biden. This does not help him at all. It turns off everyone else in the country while just confirming the biases of the shitlib class in this country who thinks that they are just wonderful humanitarian heroes. But at the same time, it seems like this is a one-man race. I just don't see Trump. I hear about Trump's court cases, frequently. Don't hear much from Trump himself. I get that, yes, that's, he's very much hobbled by his legal problems. But that's not my problem. I'm a voter. Okay, it's a campaign's job to try and reach me. I just don't hear anything from Trump. I've been saying, I'm a fairly engaged person, and he doesn't penetrate my bubble. It just doesn't happen. I don't see it. I don't go out of my way to seek out Trump, but that's not how presidential campaigns work. We, the voters, don't have to seek out the candidates. The candidates come to us. They want to, express a message. What does Trump have to say about all this, other than, Biden, he's terrible. I would... if I were there, things would be going much better. That's all he would say. I mean, I haven't heard Trump actually say that, but I assume that's what he would say, which isn't very interesting. It's nothing specific. I'd like to know specifically what he thinks is going on. As someone who's been president, you would think, and has dealt with both of these people, these parties before, the Israelis and the Palestinians. And Trump, I'm sure would tell you that he thinks that he handled the situation very well. And certainly nothing like this happened when Trump was president. And so, if I were in his position, I would explain why. I would say I would try and analyze this situation for people, use my expertise to try and point out why things don't have to be this way and how they can get better. I don't know. Again, expecting too much from Trump for him to be a reasonable, rational person, I guess. But it still would be nice to see. It would be nice to have one presidential candidate in this country who's trying to win. It seems like neither of them want to win. And honestly, I understand if Trump's, main focus is not becoming, the 46th president of the United States or 47th president, whatever. You get the point. I understand if that's not his main focus. If I were him, I would be much more worried about being in prison for the rest of my life, which is what the Democrats are trying to do to him. I get that. But again, it's not my problem. I have much bigger things to worry about than is Trump going to get sent to prison. Things that actually affect me. Hey, I'm of draft age. Are we going to go to war to help Israel and Gaza because, things are getting out of hand and we have 1,000 American troops off the shore of Gaza could potentially take fire from Hamas, and then the military would go, well, we have to return fire now, and which the Secretary of Defense confirmed today, that if fired upon, the U.S. military would fire back into Gaza, and that we would go to war with freaking Palestinians on top of everyone else. And then in that case, how would Iran respond? And then would that lead to an escalation, which would because people pretend like the draft doesn't exist anymore. It's on the books. The government can call up the draft whenever they want. We still have to register for selective service. So that's something that matters to me. So anyway, with that said, I will see folks back here in the next one.